Jackson.
Dude, what do we got here?
Amazon dropped off a package.
Oh, wow.
What does this look like?
Kind of like a Warhammer or like a... Oh, Lady Liberty?
The Olympic torch, man.
Oh, okay. What do we got here?
Dude. You got a little surprise.
Surprise.
I thought... Got a lot of guitars, but not a 7-string. So which one should I get, you know?
Looks like it comes with some
Strap
strap locks and
Strap locks?
Dunlop style strap locks.
All right.
Well, owner's manual.
All right then.
Jeez.
That's 7.
That 3D graphic of the Jackson logo is so freaking cool.
It's also pretty, it's like, it's black. It's not super silvery, shiny. What do they call that? Black chrome? Sorry, it's connected, so I'm gonna just rip it.
Rip it off, baby.
Rip it off. I'm gonna get some ramen after this. The top of that looks so sick. And these are Seymour Duncans. In some of the pictures I couldn't really read it right away, but then obviously when you look at the tech specs you see it. The neck feels incredible. Made in Korea too. A lot of the other guitars were made in Indonesia. But anyways.
I think the wood grain through the body is just beautiful.
Oh yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, I noticed.
What'd you notice?
Just putting the pickup switch closer to the...
Yeah, he switched them, I think, was what he was talking about in one of the videos. He uses this more than he uses this. Looks amazing, dude. And these glow too, by the way.
Oh,
dots.
really?
Yeah.
Luminlay?
Yeah, they glow.
Nice.
Looks
Nice.
really good, dude. They already give it an inspection before they send it, but oh, locking tuner.
You talking about the locking tuning?
Yeah, locking tuners. Boom. I put those on one of my other guitars recently. Really like them. Pretty simple. You just don't have to wind the strings at all. So, just pop them in. Also gives them a little bit more dive, they say, because they're not wound a bunch of times. The action on this seems really, really low, really awesome. It also doesn't feel huge in the hand. Because that was one of the dilemmas. There's like nowhere you can actually try, you know, these nicer mid-range 7-string guitars. They're usually all very cheap. And like, not the ones you're actually looking at. But. And this is the hip shot bridge. A lot of people say they like this hardtail bridge the most. Or if they didn't come with it, they'll change it to this. So, but yeah, what do you think of the look, Luke?
It's beautiful. Man, it is a tasty looking guitar.
And other than just the back where it says his name,
Yeah.
I don't really think there's anything visually other than the entire design of the guitar that like
Which is super subtle. I mean, it's not like, it doesn't scream Jeff Loomis unless you already know that that's his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude. So what made you want to get a 7-string guitar?
I wanted to play some of the stuff that I grew up listening to, kind of nostalgic, you know, Korn or Limp Bizkit, or just, you know, as I've been getting better at guitar, it's not as much of a challenge to learn some of the things that I used to want to learn as a kid, you know. I say that humbly, but I also say it kind of realistically. On a lot of the songs, you kind of have to have a 7-string guitar if you want to learn it in like the simplest way possible, you know? And I was also kind of curious for a long time about it. A lot of the bands that I like will sometimes play with it, even in kind of the proggy, you know, prog metal, prog rock type stuff. But I mostly just wanted to explore it, kind of play around with it, get nostalgic with it. And I didn't have one yet. So I was like, well, I love all my 6 strings, you know. Tend to just play one a lot more than the others anyway, so why buy another 6-string if I wanted to buy a guitar instead of just not buying one. So this would be more for like kind of my new metal elementary school, middle school, high school days, you know.
Gotcha.
And, you know, Limp Bizkit's, you know, getting more popular and more respect than they ever did in the past, I feel like. Mostly Korn, actually. Like, Korn is also getting a lot of attention, playing huge festivals, and I was just listening to more of their music, and I was like, it'd be fun to kind of try to play around with some of their weird, kind of noisy riffs, you know, kind of signature things, and they've always played a 7-string, so.
What do you think of their guitar?
Oh man, I did a ton of research between the different ones. It was pretty much down to Ibanez and Jackson, and the reason why I went with this one were a couple reasons. One, it had the hip shot bridge, which a lot of people were saying was their preferred bridge for a 7-string guitar. Personally, when I play it, it's like it's not even there. I don't notice it at all on my picking hand, you know. It also has passive pickups, which a lot of the other 7-strings had active pickups. And if they did have passive pickups, they were DiMarzio's or pickups that I just hadn't played before. I played a lot of Seymour Duncan's, and these are Jeff Loomis's signature pickups, so I'd never played them, but they, you know, I was familiar with the label. And then I also liked the scale length of the guitar. The neck's a little longer than some of the others, and some people talked about that influencing tuning stability and whatnot. But I went with a hardtail instead of a Floyd Rose because I wasn't sure what tunings I would need to play for some of these songs that I wanted to learn, or even for my own preferences, you know. So I thought a hardtail would give me just the most flexibility with a 7-string.
Which of these pickups can you play for metal?
I would say weird and kind of surprising thing, especially when I was just messing around while you were getting some things set up, is that it was hard for you to tell between the neck and the bridge. I was just saying to you before we started recording that this is the first guitar where I've been playing metal and feeling like the neck pickup could play everything the bridge pickup could. the tonal differences weren't so drastic that you would just, for instance, never play the neck pickup. I mean, you're pure metal Kelly, dude. It doesn't have a neck pickup, you know, and so I think that that's because so many other neck pickups just sound nothing like the bridge, and these two surprisingly sound similar to me. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah. Well, I was like chilling out, listening to you play it, and I noticed that I was really surprised when you told me that that was coming from the neck pickup.
Yeah. Play the same thing on the bridge. Chug.
Yeah, very subtle difference, you know. I think it has to do maybe with the output, but in the video that Jeff Loomis was breaking this down, he was talking about that too. He was like, it really brings out the pick attack that he likes.
Yeah.
And
he you know, you've listened to way more Jeff Loomis music than I have. And I think that he actually uses in those recordings and in his style, he uses both pickups.
Oh, for sure.
Which was surprising to me, and I was just like, is he just trying to sell a guitar, you know? And I'm sitting here, and now that I played it, I'm like, whoa, like they actually sound very similar, but subtly different. And it does seem like you could play a song and get the tone that you want almost from either one, you know?
Wow.
Just the average person.
What do you think of playing a guitar
really cool.
with the grain exposed?
It actually feels really good on the forearm. I didn't mind it at all. I think it looks really good. You know, in the outdoor shots, you really get to see it. You know, in this lighting, in this setting, I don't think it actually comes through. But you know, at the beginning of the video, with the outdoor setting, it was amazing. So it looks incredible. The neck was a big one for me. This neck is much thinner than that cheaper 7-string that you have, mostly as like a, you know, practice instrument. So everything about this. What does Squizguard think?
Squizguard thinks this is Scroid's guitars. Really likes Jeff Loomis. I think his almost plays as good as ours do.
I feel like you and Jeff Loomis have a striking resemblance too, between, you know, the Squizguard and the Loomsguard.
Probably some Nordic heritage runs within his veins. Yes.
What about some of your first thoughts of this bad boy? We talked a little bit about the neck and the bridge. I think we were talking about the knobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like, cause to go. I guess it's a little cuter sounding with the delay pedal. I mean, not that I'm like a freaking volume swell guy, but yeah, it seems like you just kind of have to reach for that a little bit. But it's fine. Like, if you're familiar with the Paul Gilbert RGs with the F holes painted on there, or I guess they're actually not called RGs, they're called PGs. For Mr. Gilbert, but the knob is somewhere in a similar place. It actually is like boom, smack dab in the middle of the F hole, and so you kind of like you just get used to the guitar that you're playing. So I'm sure, I mean, Jeff Loomis made this change like at least 7 years ago, when Conquering Dystopia was coming around. I think that's when he ended up making this change from going here to there, just recording with Keith Marrow and stuff. And so I'm sure after all this time he's used to it, but like it's kind of a fresh wound for me. It's just a fresh wound. Versus like, I don't know, being right here, that thing's cool. Personally, like I like the blade pickup switches as opposed to the toggle. But you know, you have a Les Paul and you really like your Les Paul, so the toggle's probably perfect for you.
Yeah, it's like way the hell up there though, you know.
Oh, like
Yeah.
yeah. I know, that's an interesting thing too. So at least it's not there, and like I noticed if things are there, it can get in the way of tapping stuff.
What do you think of the neck and the playability and stuff?
I think nickel frets we decided, right?
Yeah, well, we couldn't find anything on Jackson's
So we're
side,
just
Sweetwater or anything.
We're just assuming it's nickel, but that said, they're really well crafted. Nickel's a lot easier to re-crown. Like once you get some flat spots, take your like little StuMac tools, you know, and just freaking crown that fret. Listen to the way that I'm talking about. You would think that I've actually done this before at least once in my life, but I've never.
Maybe in a past life, you know.
That could be. Luthier man could have existed for sure.
I'm sure it's.